Good afternoon. Welcome to Tuesday's Tips and Talks. I am Holly Jennings.
I'm Nikki Magyar.
Yes, and so we're doing a little encore because Nikki and I have done one of these tips and talks before together. She's from Right at Home. And Nikki, why don't you just kind of give an overview real quick about what your company offers to let everybody know?
Well, thanks for having me
Yes.
back. I'm Nikki with Right at Home. We're a home care agency. By that, I mean that we're both a homemaker and companion and a personal care agency. So we do things like have a CNA go to your home or wherever you reside and take care of things like transportation all the way to feeding, ambulation, all that good stuff. So we'll get into that later.
Oh, that's great. Okay. And I know, like, as you know, here at Premier Senior Consultants, we help families find senior living options, whether it's independent, assisted, or memory care. But we find a lot of our clients that first reach out to us are kind of deciding if that's the move they need to make right away. And so we partner really well together because there's times where they need some help in the home. Maybe when either we are trying to find the right place or they're wanting to age in place a little longer at home. So wouldn't you agree? Like,
Absolutely.
that's
It's
a
a
good
great
time.
transition. So a lot of times people are trying to organize their lives before they make that transition. So it's a move, just like any other move, and there's things that need to get put in place. And actually our companions and our all of our workers, they can help get you organized. So
Oh,
they're
good.
able to lightly pack, let's say.
Oh, that's good.
And
I didn't know
then
that.
they're also able to just keep that person comfortable
Yes.
the day of the move. So
Right.
as they or when they transition into the community, they're able to help them become more active and get into
Right.
activities and know their work way around as they get used to that community as well.
Yeah.
So yes, it's definitely a great
Right.
you know.
And I think some people don't realize too. I mean, you can use services like Nikki's in the assisted living or in the independent because some people, especially if you have a caregiver that you've really kind of grown close to, we will always tell our clients, well, let that person help them. Like you say, transition, maybe stay with them a little bit because they'll get that one-on-one, right?
Yeah, a lot of times I find when we're transitioning our home care to your services and they're moving in, there's things that they need to get rid of, they need to put in place, give to their grandkids, whatever the
Right.
situation is. And so that's a slow progression, and we
Right.
don't want to make that person feel pushed into the situation. So we always
Right.
want them to feel that they're excited to move, they're in a
Yes.
good, comfortable place, and they're going to have their best journey. And so we're helping them together to do that.
Okay. One question I get often, you probably do, is how do they pay for it?
Sure. So there's a few different ways to pay for services. Long-term care insurance is a great way if you have a policy with long-term care insurance. The VA benefits are fantastic as well. A lot of
Okay.
people do pay privately though, and then a lot pay through nonprofits. So like Senior
Okay.
Resource Alliance, the MS Foundation, ALS Foundation, a lot of foundations.
Oh, I didn't even
Yeah.
realize they could find. Okay, so if they need, if you have a certain diagnosis, they could do that, and they can go through the foundation.
Yes, so they
Okay.
have small grants that help
Okay.
people get home care services. We also can put you in touch with those people. So
Okay.
if you inquire about services and you have a financial need, a lot of times we can put you in touch with the case manager of one of those
Okay.
organizations.
Oh, good. That's a great resource, really. And then what counties do you cover or
We
area?
cover Orange, Osceola, and Seminole counties.
Nice.
And so we have, a broad reach of CNAs and home health aides, about 200 on staff that are direct employees of ours. So
Wow.
we really enjoy that over time. They're very loyal, great caregivers. And we don't hire anyone who hasn't been a caregiver before. So they've
That's
all
good.
went through their home health aid training, so they know how to help people with dementia, for instance, or redirecting and things, medication assistance to some degree. So they're able to help with like pills and making sure that they're taking the right ones at the right time.
Okay.
And we, try to get them to be on schedule with like, their dietitian needs and things like that as well.
Okay. And I'm sure another thing that comes up, you touched on like your employees. What does that mean? Like some people, like where do you find your caregivers? What training do they have to go through and all of that?
Sure. So like everyone, there's a lot of staffing shortages.
Yes.
So we've really stayed ahead of that over the last year and a bit that this has been happening.
Okay.
So by that I mean that we're really taking an extra proactive approach to looking for those caregivers that maybe are looking for a different kind of work.
Okay.
In our office, we have a big training lab. So we have the Hoyer
okay.
training, the transfer training. We go through all the redirecting and dementia training as well, over and above what the state requires.
That's good.
And we really enjoy that because we never want to send someone to the home and for them to feel a little nervous about what they're
Right.
doing with that person. Because at home, unlike at a facility, they're one-on-one.
Yes,
They're by
that's
themselves.
true. Right,
So
exactly.
we really have to make sure we're getting their best foot forward.
Right.
We have the expectations from the family as well, of course, especially,
Yeah.
being that they're paying out of pocket.
Right.
And the one benefit, too, of paying out of pocket is you get the care whenever you need it. So,
that's
that
true.
is, nights, weekends, 24/7, live-in, all those different things that we can do. Whereas if you utilize services, so like skilled care that we partner with as well.
Okay.
So skilled care through Medicare, they come in like more of a Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 kind of time frame.
Okay.
So we join up with those people all the time to say,
Right.
you can get an extra bath through us, or you can utilize us to go grocery shopping for you,
Okay.
bring you to church or whatever works for you. Like if you have
Yeah.
an outing you need to do, we do transportation. But all of our caregivers, we make sure that they know how to drive. We
Right.
go through a little bit of a test with them
That's
on
good.
different things like that.
Yeah.
And it just makes us feel safe too. We want to make
Exactly.
sure that we're putting those people out
Yeah.
in a good path.
Okay. And they are your employees,
Yes.
which is different. Some
Yes.
the way they do
Yes.
that. So
with that means that we have the agency itself. So our business has bonding insurance, liability insurance. We go through, like, there's just a gamut of insurances, to be honest.
I bet.
So there's a lot that could go awry at home, of course.
Right.
And things do happen. But that way it's the agency and not me, like the
Right.
agency and not the employee
Okay.
going toe to toe. It's literally like insurance level, which is so nice to like
That
be able to
is.
sleep at night.
Yes.
So you don't feel like you're worried about the elder person feeling the burden of something might have happened at their house.
Right. They fall or hurt their back or
right.
anything could happen, right? So
Yeah.
that's really good. And background checks and all
Yes.
of that,
Oh, yeah, and
obviously.
background
So
checks,
that's
of
kind of a
course.
requirement. Well, good. So if somebody is interested or needs to kind of look into it, how do they reach you, or what's the first step and how does that work?
Sure. Calling our office. We're available 24/7. Our office number is 407-757-0981. And that number is available 24/7 to get someone on our team. So it's not going to be an on-call service or anything like
Okay.
that. And the other thing is, of course, email. I know a lot of people like to email.
Okay.
So info@seniorcareorlando.com.
Okay.
But the process really is, if you're inquiring about services, whether you're ready or not,
Okay.
they can call the office, email, reach out to me as well. And then that way we can talk through what their situation is and kind of guide them to what the right resources for them. So a lot of times we
Okay.
get calls that aren't really for us.
Right, right.
And that's fine. And
Yeah.
we're happy to help. So we have resources all around the counties that we work with. And we're happy to help in any way, shape, or form.
Well, that's good. And then do you go out to the home and do an assessment
Yes.
if they're wanting to kind of
Yep.
see if you
So
can meet their needs?
so we go through an assessment with the client. We can also do DocuSign now that everyone
Oh, I know.
virtual,
We
right?
love that now.
So
Right?
so that works out great because as
Yeah.
you know, like the daughter's up in New York or whatever the
Exactly.
situation is, and that helps everybody to kind of get eyes on the agreement. And our agreement is really nice because it actually has just a 24-hour cancellation. So it's really more of a
Okay.
proactive approach. You
Yeah.
can sign up for services and use us as much or as little as you want to. So if they're
Oh,
just kind
good
of
to know.
PRN, like when they
Right.
need us, instead of on a regular schedule,
Okay.
we're okay with that too. So
Oh, good.
it's just nice to have that information already ready to go. So if they do find a
Right.
day that they do need us, that we're there.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of times, obviously, we see couples where maybe one is kind of the caregiver and they may need some time away, but it may
Right.
be a little hit or miss, maybe for appointments or vacation or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Like respite care that you normally go to a
Yeah.
community for, you can actually do respite care at home with us as well.
Exactly.
That kind of thing.
Exactly. Do you have limit or like time blocks, 4 hours?
So
or
we
how
don't
does that
really have a
work?
limit.
Okay.
The rate does change between an hour to 4 hours at a time. But we're $30 an hour for 4 hours or more for a shift. Let's
Okay.
call it. So you
Okay.
can do like an AM and a PM shift if you want to get ready for the day and then tucked in at night kind of thing.
Okay.
Nights, weekends are all the same as well
Oh,
with the
good.
rate.
Yeah.
And then we do live-in care as well. So that would be like a 24-hour care, but in that case, the caregiver does sleep.
Okay.
So it's a little bit different. So if you have someone who wanders at night, you don't want to do that. So you want to make sure that you're going with hourly for that.
Right.
But vacation clients sometimes ask for us to do live-ins as well, because then you have the person for the time that you're on your cruise,
Okay, so they'd stay, it'd be the same person.
Same person.
Okay, and so they would stay but sleep overnight. That makes sense, but be there first thing in the morning or helping them get to bed and all of that. Yeah. Wow, that's a lot of really great options. I just think a lot of people.
Flexible,
yeah, it's good. It's good. It's so important because we know that everybody's situation is different. So what we're going to end up doing is you'll end up seeing either in the chat box or what have you, like that information on how to reach you, phone number, email, website, and then you can always reach out to us and we'll make sure that you get connected with them over at Right at Home and anything that we can do to help. So I really appreciate you coming back this afternoon. We just love our partnership and relationship with them, and so we just kind of wanted to do a reminder a little bit about what they can offer because we know a lot of people need that kind of care. So well, good. Well, thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye.